Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor of the Tenkar's Tavern blog. So this is just going to be a really short follow-up to last night's really well done live stream. I've gotten numerous PMs from people, both during the chat, the live stream, and afterwards, saying that last night's discussion, which was largely about AI, um, was spot on. Whether you agreed with certain people that were talking or disagreed with them, uh, the feedback was the discussion was very good. I'm not going to talk about the copyright angle that came up at one point, but before I go much further, 10 cards tavern games / drive through RPG, TTRPG. If you shop from that link, a few coins will go into your bartender's pockets to keep this channel lively and live. So, right now I have something from Chat GPT up on the screen. Did this a couple of weeks ago. Write me a low-level encounter for OSR-style Dungeons and Dragons. And by the way, it doesn't understand all that, right? It understands Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons is 5e, so it's going to give you saves, wisdom saves, I don't know, target of 12 or whatever. It doesn't quite understand that there's other systems out there. But it does understand, even if you say OSC, it pretend it knows OSC, it just knows OSC is Dungeons and Dragons. Artificial intelligence is not where it's going to be, but it is growing in leaps and bounds. And the discussion last night was, for the most part, from one or two angles or extremes. The AI is going to be a net positive and create new jobs, or AI is going to be a net negative and lose jobs. Now, it's not, you cannot use AI to write an encounter for your Dungeons and Dragons game. It's not going to be working, but could it write something and then you go in and then you rewrite it? It's an inspiration tool, that's for sure. You might say, oh, I don't like this one. Well, generate me another one. Generate me another encounter. Generate me another. And then you'll find one that is suitable for you. And then you'll have to, like I said, in this case, change the system numbers around and all that stuff. Give it another year, 2, 3, 5, 10. I fully expect within the next 5 years that companies like Wizards of the Coast are going to have AI DMs on their VTTs. Before you go, no, you're talking out of your ass. I can almost guarantee that Wizards of the Coast is looking at their VTT and saying, imagine how much more profitable it would be if we could unload the DMing aspect and just make it for the players. Make it like an MMO, but with artificial intelligence, so players can think out of the box, and in theory, the artificial intelligence can meet them halfway. I don't know. It's interesting times. Now, we've also seen artificial art, AI art, and AI art is different than AI writing at the moment. AI writing at the moment is not up to par. It's easy to spot for the most part. But maybe you can't spot it when somebody goes in and massages it and takes the original AI product and makes it into something more complete and full. But AI art, it is certainly something that can fool. We showed a picture yesterday. It can certainly fool the eye. And you can go, wow, that looks like classic art from the 80s, D&D. Yeah, I could see that in my Dragon magazine in like issue 56. And instead, it was AI generated art. So, do I expect that artists and writers are going to lose their jobs. I expect there's going to be a change in the industry. There always is. There was a change when we were able to start doing self-publishing, right? It lowered the bar to entry. Anybody could and has, even I have, published. That's amazing, right? Well, now with AI art, which has come along faster, I think, than AI writing, AI art is learning to fool the eye. It's getting better and better. And I would expect within maybe less time than AI DMs, probably another year or two, we're going to see AI art that equals to the untrained eye. My eye is certainly untrained. Artwork that many of us would say, hey, that looks beautiful. That looks great. That's what I want on my old school project. That's what my 5e release, whatever. And it's going to be a change in the market. And if you are a current artist, you are going to have to find a way to be better than AI art. Now, does that mean that certain artists are going to fall to the side? Certainly. And does it mean that other artists are going to have to find their niche? Yes. So, listen, I love stock art. I own masses of stock art that will never get used because I will never publish enough to ever need it. But when we think about that, right, AI art is essentially infinite stock art. And if you have a subscription, it's essentially free beyond your subscription price. Or if you're willing to wait in the queues are getting longer and longer. So now is the time to start prepping. Now is the time, if you're an artist especially, to see what is this game going to be? What is my career going to be? What is my income source going to be in the next 1, 2, 3 years? How is this going to affect me? And maybe it's going to be, well, I need to learn how to use AI art as a shortcut, right? That could be it too. Like use AI art to generate aspects of your artwork, and then you finagle it, and then you fill in the gaps. I suspect we're going to see a lot of cooperation or collaboration between artists and AI art to get art that right now we're not even sure if you can copyright AI art. So if you make put that personal touch, and maybe that's what the future is. I don't know. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I'd like, if you have the time, watch the live stream. You don't just need my opinion. You should be getting opinions of others, not just those of us that were on screen. At one point, we had 6. Myself, Rob Conley, Joe the Lawyer, Tim Shorts, Greg Christopher, and the one and only Matt Jackson, who arrived late to the party and left early. But he's allowed. We had to steal him away from work. So, folks, give me your thoughts. Now, later on today, or maybe shortly, depending on when this finally gets up, there will be a live stream, Gamers Health. And it's been an interesting week in the Tenkar land. Happy to give you some updates. So, at 8 p.m. every Saturday. Love to see you then. Otherwise, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice, roll them well. I'll be back again 8 p.m. tonight, and another video tomorrow on Sunday. All right, folks. God bless. Good night.